Rob. Well, candidates are in the mounting yard now for the running of the next event, race 6, which has been put back 5 minutes. The Australian Airlines Flying. They'll start up in the famous Flemington straight course at the 1100 metre mark. And the scratching is number 4, Tango Master, a field of 12. Danny, let's check the all-important tote call on race 6.
The straight track specialist Grandiose is up the top, $5.40. The horse has won 7 races in his career, every one of them at Flemington. $3.15 Sender Sign, $1.95 Paklani. Same price about number 5 Alishan, $7.65 number 6 So Gay Paris, 7 Demon Fever $13.10, 8 Napoleon $13.50, $5.80 for number 9 Proud Cell. Western Sovereign $3.85. He won this race last year. $14 Bardo Man, 72 Classy Road, and $19 about number 13 Wing Out, with nearly $250,000 in the windfall for race number 6. Pete, the Australian Airlines Flying.
Well, as you said, the straight track specialist, Dan Grandiose, heads them up here. And Grandiose, well, he's won the Standish handicap, I think, maybe a couple of times, and he loves this straight track, Graham.
Yes, he certainly does, but I think it's 7 years of age, Peter. He's just starting to feel the pinch a little bit. Only 8th here in the Gadsden on Saturday behind final card. That was an ordinary run, and he'd have to improve with 58 to win this, I think.
Sender Sign is one who has also won down the straight course. Recent form, nothing to write home about. Finished down the track behind Euclays at Caulfield in a pretty hot field. And prior to that, 3rd in an open handicap behind Pug for Me. A little bit harder here, but Sender Sign showing round about $3.10 on the Victorian tote for a 50-cent investment.
Well, I'm predicting the first improvement for number 3, Paklani, who will be ridden by Jim Cassidy. As you remember, on Cox Plate Day, the track was slippery, and Paklani just didn't like the going at all when she finished last in the Moya Stakes. You can forgive her for that failure. And on the firm fast track today, Paklani's the one to beat in this race.
Number 5 is my selection, Alishan, ridden by Michael Clark. This horse finished 2nd behind Greyman here on Melbourne Cup Day. And 3 runs ago came down the outside fence by himself to win brilliantly over 1,200 metres. He won by 5 lengths that day, and he almost treated it like a trial. In fact, they rode him as such, but he won the race by 5. I thought his run the other day behind Greyman was good enough to suggest that he's pretty close to a win.
So Gabe Paris with number 6 with Greg Hall in the saddle. Quite a smart sprinter. He was a winner at Moonee Valley over 1,000 metres in September. His only subsequent run was 7th behind With Me in the Moya Stakes. I feel this class may be beyond him, but at the same time he comes in nicely with 52.5.
9 Proud Cell was to be ridden by Stephen King. The rider is now M. Flaherty here, replacing Stephen King, who was injured in that previous event when he came off Black Sun. Round about the 11-1 mark on the tote, Proud Cell. Pretty good 3rd behind Allure at Caulfield last start, and prior to that, Holiday Lover beat her into 5th place here at Flemington.
10 Western Sovereign with Lance O'Sullivan in the saddle comes in with a chance. He won this race last year and finished quite well when 2nd behind Euclays over 1,100 metres at Caulfield at his last start.
He was a big run at Caulfield, Western Sovereign, Graham, but summing up, what do you like?
Well, I've gone for number 3, Paklani. I think that she'll win the race.
And I think Alishan, number 5, is the one to beat here in race 6. Let's see what the punters have made of it. As we head down to the betting ring once again, Crackers, you've managed to keep these showers away, so I'm sure you're pretty pleased about that.
Well, I certainly am down here, and there's some honey in a jar for the little blokes at the Satchels at the moment, because the last race result was very good to them. But my tote odds at the moment, they're only banking a couple in it, but the tote odds is Grandiose today, Sender Sign of 5, Paklani, which they put a bit of money on at 5-2, Alishan 5-2. They're the 2 that have the money on. Go. So Gay Paris is 8, 20-1 Demon Fever, 16-1 Napoleon, 7-1 Proud Cell, 9-1 the Western Sovereign, Larry Cooper trained horse, 16-1 Bardo Man, 50-1 Classy Rogue, and Wing Out of 66s. But there's only a couple of their back. They've put a bit of money on Sender Sign, but not that much activity down here at the moment. They all wanted Shaftesbury Avenue to win, and it did, and they're down there licking their wounds at the moment.
So the bookmakers get some back after taking a hammering over the first 3 days of the Carnival. Alishan, Paklani, the 2 that have been back. Dr. Turf, what's the latest?
Pete, not really a strong sprint here, and I think number 3, Paklani, is the key to the race. She was caught very wide there at Moonee Valley, gave up about halfway through, but her best form is very good, including a win in the Zetative Stakes at Caulfield, and also a terrific second With Me in the Oakley Plate earlier on this year. If she reproduces that form with Jimmy Cassidy on board, she'll be too good. And I thought the bull, number 2, Sender Sign, I thought he could improve here today, Pete. 3 to beat 2.
So the fashion still continues as the horses make their way up the famous Flemington Straight to the 1,100 metre start for race number 6, the Australian Airlines Flying. We'll be back on Network 10 as the Spring Racing Carnival continues after this break.
With Win the trifecta and you win big. And it's so easy. Pick any 3 numbers, and if they come in first, second and third in your selected order, you win. So try a trifecta today.
You gotta run for your money on the TAB.
If you'd like to win this fabulous Sharp product, just name the product along with your name and address on the back of an envelope and send it to this address. Keep watching for more Sharp Super Shots during the Melbourne Cup Spring Carnival here on Channel 10.
29 down and 3 to go for the Carnival as we come up to the running of race 6, the Australian Airlines Flying. It's been a day where the bookmakers have been successful, just one knocking off the favourite Zodiac Miss in the first. The favourite won the second in the Bahamas. It was Big Colony in the third at good odds. Race 4 went to the well-backed Outdoor Star, but the bookies got the money in the previous event when Pontormo upset the hot favourite Shaftesbury Avenue and withstood a protest. There's the one that they're backed in this, Paklani. Alishan also well tried, and the line is taking good shape as we return to the commentary box and Dan Maliki.
Thanks very much, Peter Donegan. Paklani goes into the line. Very good mare. She's won over $1 million in prize money. Jim Cassidy riding this horse from the west. First up run, Gary Willits, was, well, on paper it looks ordinary, but she was trapped very wide, and that's a hard thing to do at Moonee Valley.
And I think she likes the track pretty good, where everything that the track at Moonee Valley was a little bit slippery in places, and I don't think it suited her. So I think she should run pretty good here.
Alishan goes up. Vardo Man will be the last one to link up. And the field just about set to go. Race 6, the Australian Airlines Flying. Lights on now, 1,100 metres. Stand up well. Alishan and Paklani, the 2 favourites. Lights still flashing. Race 6 at Flemington on Honda Stakes Day. One of them not quite right. They are now. They're off and racing. Vardo Man jumped away pretty quickly with Soge Paris. Alishan Sender Sign showing speed. So was Western Sovereign and Paklani. And Classy Rogue driving up along the inside. 300 metres after the start, Classy Rogue leads. Second was Paklani. Going up wider was Soge Paris, followed by Napoleon. Further out, Sender Sign, then Alishan, Demon Fever, Western Sovereign behind them from Proud Cell. Running up to the crossing now, 700 metres left to travel, and Paklani just led Classy Rogue. A length away third was Sender Sign from Soge Paris and Demon Fever. Out wider was Alishan. They were followed by Proud Cell getting into the clear. Western Sovereign, Vardo Man behind them. And 3 lengths away, Wing Out last of all. They have about 400 metres to go. Soge Paris in front. Going up on the outside, Alishan with Sender Sign, Paklani, Grandiose behind them. Then Western Sovereign, followed by Proud Cell, Demon Fever, Vardo Man. Alishan hit the front, 200 metres to go from Soge Paris. Western Sovereign over on the inside, coming at Alishan. Alishan's the neck in front. Western Sovereign grinding away on the inside. Western Sovereign coming home strongly. He's got to the front, and it's back-to-back wins in the Australian Airlines Flying. Western Sovereign scored by a neck. Alishan was second. Vardo Man worked home nicely for third. Then Wing Out and Grandiose. Soge Paris, Proud Cell, Demon Fever, Paklani, Napoleon, Classy Rogue. And Sender Sign was quite ordinary today. He's wound up at the tail of the field. Winner of the Australian Airlines Flying, number 10, Western Sovereign, ridden by Lance O'Sullivan. And they've recorded 1:4.6, which is 1.6 seconds outside the track record. And number 10, the winner, Western Sovereign. Good gutsy performance, Gary, because it's very hard. 495, 125, 70 and 375 the expected should pace. Very hard for a horse that has been passed, as in this case by Alishan, coming down the straight. Alishan was on the outside. You don't often see them fight back when they're on the inside down the straight races, so it was a gutsy win.
Very good win. He's a very underrated sprinter, Western Sovereign. Like his run when he ran second to Euclase at Caulfield was very good. He got home very fast that day. Here he is here. You can see Alishan's gone past him at this stage. Got a good half a length in front of him. Lance O'Sullivan's working very hard. Michael Clark hasn't gone for the whip on Alishan as yet. And here you can see Western Sovereign. Lance Sullivan's riding very hard here. He's got back and he actually draws away from Alishan.
Yeah, it was a good win. Good win. Wins by about, or a long neck at the post with about a half head away third to Vardo Man, which ran on strongly. He's a nice type of horse, Vardo Man. Can do things wrong, Gary, but obviously he's going to be a better horse in the autumn, I think.
Yes.
Only very lightly raced.
Yes, he's only had 6 starts now, Dan, so here's a head-on shot of it here. And you can see Western Sovereign's under a really strong ride here from Lance O'Sullivan. Michael's just going for the whip here. The horse on the fence is Grandiose. But it was a good gutsy win. He fought back, you know, very strongly.
Tell you what, another eye-catcher in the race. Look at the horse that's running into about 5th placing on the outside of the screen. Horse called Wing Out in the purple cap. This horse was last at the 600 metres point, and it's finished up about 2.5 lengths for the winner. That is definitely a coming winner. Number 13, Wing Out, was having its first start for George Hanlon today. The winning trainer, though, of Western Sovereign is talking to Peter Donegan.
And it's Larry Cooper. Larry, 2 years in a row we meet again.
Yes, Peter, that's correct. Yeah, the old horse, he won pretty well today. He did everything right. We set him for this race back in the winter. He campaigned through the winter on real heavy tracks, which wasn't suiting him, but I had it in mind all along that the Caulfield Sprint and this race was what I was going to aim him for the spring, with the lightweights and everything that I knew he'd get in on. The horse, he ran a good race for me in the Caulfield Sprint on Caulfield Cup Day. Shane Dye rode him, and he just said, look, mate, he said, freshen him up. He said he's going to improve him immensely, you know, for this.
He probably made up 6 lengths at Caulfield too, so you must have come into this race pretty confident.
Yeah, he stood Euclase up coming into the straight. Shane dropped him out that day because the track was pretty firm, and the old fellow's feels his feet, and he just let him sort of get the feel of the track and then worked him into it. And he stood Euclase up about 15 lengths coming into the straight, and he went down by 3 lengths to him. And, you know, it was a pretty good tough effort. And, of course, we've done very little with the old fella since then, and, you know, he's just improved that much, you know, since that run. You know, I went in here pretty confident with him today.
When they came past the trainer's stand, were you going to be prepared to settle for second money, because it looked as